when I came into the rooms, so I'll give you a brief background about who I am and how it came to be that I dress Orthodox. I went to a public school like everybody else, and I got expelled for selling marijuana. And then afterwards, I got sent to a boarding school called the Assemblies of God, a Christian boarding school. It was more like reformatory, where you send all the naughty kids and all the rejects in life. And that's where I started reading the Bible, started learning about God and the Bible and religion and spirituality. And I started listening to sermons on television. These charismatic churches that have sermons. Started listening, and they promised everything: how loving God is, how kind He is, how He'll give me everything, and He'll make me rich. He'll give me a beautiful wife. He'll give me a good job. And needless to say, things never worked out that way. And when it came to Christian goals, I wasn't really loved by them so much. And they always rejected me, and they said no. I remember how I'd always pray and fast and tithe before fetching a Christian girl, and she said no, I'd get disappointed. And I got to a point where I lost faith in God, and I said this is nonsense. And I walked away from religion, and I went back relapsing, and I went back to using again. And after matric, when I came back home from boarding school, I worked at a wimpy store, and back then I was still into rap, and I built like a studio where all the rappers would come, they would smoke marijuana and all kinds of things like that. And when I decided to stop drugs, I lost my touch in rap music. I went to school, I studied human resources. In a nutshell, I'm just telling you in basic, and I'll tell you why I'm saying one of these things. And I came into a program, April 2011, on the 11th, 18th to 11th. Not too sure, I'll have to check properly again. And I hated God when I came into the rooms. I wanted nothing to do with God and all that stuff. And eventually I went back to practicing religion. It didn't work out. I tried black magic, I tried witchcraft, I went back to the church, and I don't know, it just wasn't my thing. And I saw a lot of hypocrisy, and I found Judaism afterwards. I met up with a couple of Jews. I worked for a Jewish company, and I researched on the religion, and I found that this is a religion that works for me. And I'm saying this because one thing I need in my life more than anything else is God. And I need a power greater than myself. I don't believe that I would have remained sober, clean. Maybe I could have, but I could have been what they call a dry drunk. What really kept me sober, as in like to do step 7, where I become humble, where I get rid of my arrogance, where I became a man of truth, a man of loyalty, a man of faith, was because I found a power greater than myself. And that's one of the things that actually even helped. I don't think I would have been able to beat my porn addiction if it wasn't for the God of my understanding. So every addict needs a God of understanding. And a lot of people in the rooms do have a problem with organized religion, and with religion in general. They have issues. They were forced to go to church, or whatever they want to accept in a church for whatever various reasons, or they just felt like this is not for them, or they saw a lot of hypocrisy and things like that. But I'm converting to being Jewish because the God of Israel is the God of my understanding. And the God of Israel, the God of David, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, that's a power greater than myself. And that's a power that works for me. And I had to get over the issues that I had with God. I had to get over the issues I had with religion. I had to get over all those difficulties. And I had to go search for truth myself and find out what works for me, and not what I was taught, or what society says to me, or what society brainwashed me. So each one of us comes to recovery with a whole history of life experiences, as I said, mine. The kind of understanding of a higher power that It's most important to find in the second step is an understanding that can help us. See, what's important for me is not doctrine or theology or things like that. What I need is something that works. And prayer for me works. Reading Psalms works for me. Going to a shul works for me. Keeping Shabbat works for me. And doing all these things works for me. This is what works for me. This is what helps me to get clean. I'm not interested in anything else. People are welcome to believe whatever they want to believe. You want to believe that we come from monkeys, or you want to believe in evolution, you want to be an atheist, you want to be a Christian or Hindu. That's none of my business. What is my business is my program and what works for me. I'm not a missionary, and I'm not an evangelist. I'm nothing of that kind. I'm converting to be an Orthodox Jew because this will also enlarge my spirituality and it will help my life become better, and it works hand in hand with my program. I spoke to the rabbis about this, and my rabbi said, you know what, if recovery helps you and going to meetings help you, he said to me, these are his words, it would be wrong for you not to go there. Because you see, like a person that doesn't, maybe was in a car accident and needs a physiotherapist to help him regain, and he was paralyzed, he needs to go there. If someone has cancer, you need chemotherapy. If someone can't see, they need to go to an optometrist. If someone wants to drive, they need to go to a driving school. Therefore, if someone's an addict, they need to work a 12-step program. And they need to find a power greater than themselves that can help them find recovery. And they need to put doctrines or things like theology aside. We're not concerned here with theological elegance or doctrinal adherence, just like I said. We just want something that works. And that's what you need to find. Something that works. Not theology or theories or anything like that or scientific proofs. What you need is a power greater than yourself that will help you to find recovery. Our addiction is a negative power within us, without a doubt. Every single human being, whether you realize it or not, has some type of a God. If you obsess over gymming, then you idolize gymming, you idolize your body, you idolize your strength, and your whole life is based on steroids and nutritional supplements and going to the gym and perfect body and checking your weights and checking your calories and things like that. So that is your idol, that's your God. And if you idolize television and rap, and that's all your life is, then that's your God. Jay-Z and Kanye West and Lil Wayne, those are your gods. That's who you want to be like. That's who you aspire to be like. You follow their music. You put their posters up on the wall, and you follow them on Twitter. And that's what that's ladies with the same thing. Their clothing and that bag and that shoe and Gucci and Giorgio Armani and that short skirt and that bra and Kim Kardashian and Mariah Carey and surgery, big butts and all these things. And if that's what she idolizes, that becomes your God. Same thing with drugs and alcohol. If everything is just about drugs and my friends are drug addicts and my girlfriend's a drug addict, I only hang around drug sports, my money goes to drugs, that's your God. Without a doubt. And that's a power greater than what you are. Our addiction led us down a path of insanity, and that's what it does. It leads you to a path where you take insane decisions, making the same mistakes over and over again and expecting different results. And cause us to act differently than we wanted to behave, meaning we go against our own values, our own systems, our own value systems. So we need something to combat that, something at least as powerful as our addiction, and that is God. And only God and God only is a power greater than yourself that can restore you back to sanity. See, in the program we have 5 pillars. It's meetings, sponsorship, the higher power which is God, it's service work, and it's meetings, service work, sponsor, higher power, and step work. So if you don't have a higher power, you're not working the 5 pillars. If you don't have a godly understanding of the life, you can't do the step work, and you don't have a power, and you're not working a full program. In addition, looking at what a power greater than ourselves can do for us may help us to begin to discover more about that power. So the minute you decide that you want to believe in God, that sets you into a path that will help you to discover who God is. And that will help recovery takes place. Because this is a spiritual program. And by the time you get to step 12, you need to have had a spiritual awakening. So that after having that spiritual awakening, you can carry this message to the still suffering addict. So as a matter of fact, we don't have to have any understanding at all of the power in ourselves to be able to use the power to stay clean and sober. Like I said, I'm not interested in theology and doctrines and things like that. What I want is something that works. And I found the God of my understanding, and He works for me, and I respect every other people's decisions about what type of religion or non-religion or secular or atheist. That's up to you. But as long as you're in the program and you found a power greater than yourself that could restore you to sanity, I suggest you go down a path that will help you in terms of your spiritual life.